Police Chief Matt Burns. I want to just take a moment to review an incident that occurred over the weekend that we did have a press release sent out on by a Shift 3 sergeant. In review, on 6/21/2020 at 3:17 a.m., our officers were dispatched to the downtown Holiday Inn for disorderly subjects and an assault that had occurred on a staff member of the downtown Holiday Inn. That staff member had called to report that a subject had assaulted them and gave a description of the suspect and the vehicle the suspect was fleeing in. On scene, the officers identified the vehicle and the suspect was in and gave the driver clear commands to stop, and the driver did not. When the fleeing vehicle got caught in traffic, the officer attempted to shut the vehicle off by reaching in through the window. The driver rolled up the window and trapped the officer's arm and dragged the officer for a short distance. Officers were able to get the vehicle stopped a short distance later and were able to take the driver into custody. Charges were pending at the time of the juvenile driver, who has now been charged, as you know, with aggravated assault on law enforcement, obstructing, among other charges. I am aware, and our department is aware, that there is a social media video of part of the interaction between this vehicle, the driver, and some others in the vehicle and our officers. I'm also very aware that that is only a small piece of the interaction, and I think that that's a key to understand. This matter will be under a complete and full review by our department because there was a manner of response resistance or force used to effect the arrests. So I just want to make that very clear, that that's a matter of our standard procedure. So I don't want there to be an impression that this is not under any sort of review. Of course it is. I also want to be mindful and remind the public and the media that since a juvenile was involved, there are certain restrictions on the amount of information that we can provide. I would tell you, however, that the person that assaulted the staff member was arrested. They were located inside the vehicle that was attempting to flee that assaulted our officer. And that person is last named Teah, T-E-A-H, first name of Lovetee, L-O-V-E-T-E-E, date of birth 5/16/99, who is a Sioux Falls resident for one count of simple assault. As this matter unfolds, we will continue to be transparent about it and update the media as appropriate with the reminders of the juvenile being involved in the incident, and we'll release what's appropriate for any matter that's pending before the court. Okay? Any questions?
The juvenile is not being charged as an adult at this point, correct?
Not at this point.
Can you kind of explain how long a review, like you mentioned, takes?
It just depends. There are a number of officers on the scene, and so there may be a number of things we would look at, video from the officers, and depending on how many car cameras we have, it could take a number of days. There's also supplement reports that need to get done and typed up that will be part of the review, which is always part of the review. It's part of our standard procedure.
Will you be releasing the results of that review?
Yes, we can talk about the results of that review. Absolutely. Naturally, the reports and everything are a different matter as according to the law, but we can talk about how that review ends up, certainly. All right?
Is this video, that social media video you mentioned, Chief, is that have their knee on their neck as well? Is this that same video?
I am aware that that was alleged to have been in the video. We'll be doing a full review of that.
That's what this case.
I believe that if there's more than one video, I'm not aware of it. I'm aware of one, and that is alleged to have happened. We'll see. There's perhaps other angles that could reveal that better. I can tell you that that's not something that we train or teach. I'm also mindful that in the heat of the moment when things are happening quickly in a perceived threat environment that may appear what happened. But that'll be part of the review.
And if that happened, that's something you're not teaching your officers at this time, especially last week with kind of those topics you mentioned last week and how you're trying to not use excessive force like that.
Right. We do not train to put a knee or on the neck or impinge the airway or the neck in any way.
And just to be clear, this happened in a parking garage?
Correct. Next to the downtown Holiday Inn. So I thank you for your time.